Hi everyone, welcome to Working with Your Gifts. Now this is a short introduction that is going to describe what these readings are meant to illuminate for you. If you don't want to listen to it, you can skip right to the reading by clicking in the timestamp below. So for anyone who is new, welcome. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. Now, what does meaning-based spiritual coaching services mean? That means that I utilize the principles of logotherapy, which is a school of psychoanalysis thought that focuses on illuminating you as an individual. What makes you different? What makes your experience of life different so that you can find your own meaning within your life. But first, you have to be aware of yourself and what makes you unique. And the second step is being able to connect that unique self with your external environment to understand where these unique parts of yourself fit into the greater collective human experience. So this reading specifically is the first baby step to getting you to become self-aware of innate gifts that are unique to you. Now, since these are general readings, these are going to focus on the broader overview of looking at your astrological sign, which is going to be in one of your three main house placements in your birth chart, which is either your sun, your moon, or your rising sign. Now, you can look at all three of these. I do recommend watching a video for each of those because each one focuses on something slightly different. So when we're looking at your sun sign. Your sun sign tends to focus more on illuminating aspects of yourself, gifts to tap into that pertain specifically to your spiritual experience. When I say spiritual, I mean more of like your grand overarching purpose, that feeling inside of you, that those innate instinctual drives to enact a vision for the world that you emotionally connect to. For your rising sign, when you look at the sign associated with your rising sign, this is more about how you are perceived by others in the world. And I've heard some say it's kind of like the role you're meant to play. So if you're looking at this as being an actor in a play, this is where you get to step onto stage and how others view you in your role. And this is an important aspect because oftentimes we're so focused on our sun sign placements that we don't realize that there's an element of how others see us, and that the sign placement that is associated with our rising sign has to do more with our physical experience of life, how others perceive us in our physical world, and how we in turn actually act and interact on a physical level with our experience. And then we have our moon sign placements. Now, moon sign placements I feel are incredibly important to be aware of because this is where we tie directly into our emotional core. It's where we actually also act kind of from a place of our instinct. It's where we act from a subconscious place. So this can be important because in understanding the unique gifts and the unique attributes to the sign that is in your moon placement, you can gain a broader understanding of where you can find emotional fulfillment and perhaps where you're blocking yourself off from emotional fulfillment. So I do find that moon sign placement can be very important. It's also where you can start to see and become aware of where you act instinctually. So when pushed by your external environment, what's your first instinct to act? Your first instinct to emotionally connect with that either event or situation or person. And so it can actually provide a lot of insight into perhaps areas where you need to grow a little bit in an emotional sense. You know, if your first instinct is always to burst into tears or to get extremely angry, that's where we can start to understand, okay, this is why we're emotionally blocked from feelings of happiness and fulfillment, because we are not expressing the gifts that lie within our kind of subconscious instinctual level of reaction, and where we've blocked ourselves off from actually growing this part of ourselves, from evolving from almost more of like a childlike blah throw a tantrum type tendency to really fine-tuning this and utilizing this emotional connection to heighten and really allow for your emotional responses to be impactful both to others and to yourself. So that's kind of an overview of what we're going to be looking at here. What we're going to be diving into in each one of these readings is to take a look at what are the key gifts for the sign. And I look at the gifts for the sign meaning you are born with a specific birth chart, which is unique to you. No other person will have the same birth chart as you. It is your fingerprint that separates you from all others. And so as part of this blueprint that you have, there are layers to this. So there's the first layer of more of a general overview of kind of what divinely you are given as your broad goal and role to fill in the greater collective. Meaning, let's have an example. Let's say you were born as a Taurus. Now, Taurus is a sign of stability. It's an earth sign. It's a fixed earth sign. So you're working with the gifts of stability. In addition to that, there's working with the gifts of creating structure, working with the gifts of working with your tangible environment. And these are things that are meant to be utilized by you in your day-to-day to not only help you feel connected to an innate part of yourself, but also to help fill a role in the greater collective experience. So not everybody is born with Taurus in one of their 3 main house placements. But if you are, then you're meant to be an example to others or to fill roles that the other signs cannot, so that you really fill in the gaps and keep the balance going between everybody and all of their unique gifts. So the more that you start to become aware of your unique gifts and you start to tap into them on a high level, then you can start to break it down and go deeper into a very personal and singular individual level, where you start to then uncover your own unique abilities and gifts that don't tie directly back to your sign placements. Instead, they tie back to you as the individual. And that's where getting a personal reading would help uncover that aspect of yourself. But we get to be aware in stages. So it isn't about when you're starting this road to uncovering who you are, so that you can start to answer fully your own I am question. And when I talk about what is the I am question, it's if somebody right now was to walk up to you and say, announce to the world, step on stage and tell people about yourself. Who are you? And you would start by stepping up and saying, I am. And how would you answer that question? Now, a lot of us might have certain things that we could, say right off the bat. I am a mother. I'm a construction worker. I am fill in the blank. But where we go a little deeper is this is here to answer the larger, deeper I am question. Who are you at your core, and what is your purpose and place in this world? And I think most of us are, at some point in our lives, we come to this existential crisis of trying to figure that out, of do I matter? Does my life hold meaning? Where do I find meaning in life for myself? And that first step is becoming self-aware. And it happens in layers. We don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to be self-aware today. It's finding a starting place that works for you that starts to unlock that connection again between yourself and your uniqueness and your external environment. So it's baby steps. As an example for this would be like you saying, okay, I realize I'm not feeling happy and emotionally fulfilled in my life. So I am going to start to utilize techniques like meditation or self-awareness practices, or just finding the time to do one thing a day that brings me some type of enjoyment, whether that's building in time to go for a walk by myself, or finding the time to reconnect with a hobby that you maybe have long since pushed to the side. Like, I'm going to start writing a little bit again every day, or I'm going to take out my paint set that I haven't utilized in 15 years and start to just doodle with it. These are the ways that we start to tap back into our connection to self. And that's where our connection to the greater collective experience starts. It starts with connecting to ourself again as a unique individual. And then from there, once we have a healthy connection to ourself and awareness of self, we can then go out into the external environment and connect that unique self with our external environment so we can start to understand where we fit in. And that's really where then we start the adventure to find meaning for ourselves. So I hope this has been illuminating and informative, and your video will start right now. Thanks, guys. Bye. Hi, all my lovely Cancers, and welcome to your Working with Your Gifts reading. So we're going to start with discussing your overarching superpower of being a Cancer, meaning of having Cancer in one of your 3 main house placements. So being able to understand this overarching gift that you have just by birthright of being born under the sign of Cancer. Being able to start here with an awareness of what your superpowers are and what place they hold within the greater collective experience is going to help you kind of start to see where your place is, where you get to fit in. And then as you're able to start engaging with that energy and that superpower, you'll start to unlock and realize how this is going to bring forward your own unique singular abilities and hopes and dreams. But we have to start someplace. So we're going to start on a general level, on a high level, taking a look at what, as a Cancer, you are uniquely able to do. So Cancer, your unique gift is being a cardinal water sign. And what does that mean? Cardinal water sign means, first of all, you're a cardinal sign. So you are a sign that is meant by birthright to be a leader in the energy that you bring to, in the energy that you are working with, which are the emotions. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be, in your lifetime, you have to become a manager or you have to take these high-level leadership roles. What it means is that you are being an example to others of really where you can take the lead in showing the importance of working with your emotions, of leading others in a way for them to be able to see, okay, I see why it's important to be strong in my emotions and what that actually looks like by seeing somebody who is taking the lead in living from that place. So Cancer, one of your unique gifts is being able to be so tapped into your emotions that you are highly intuitive, meaning that at any given time you can directly connect to source spirit and really be able to feel that. You can gain insight very quickly where others might be walking in darkness. And this is very important right now. I mean, obviously, every sign's energy is important. We all play a part. We all create this divine balance. But yours is very important in the way that you are meant to not only help guide yourself, through this direct connection to spirit, but you're meant to help others realize the importance of the emotional side to our experience and how that can directly facilitate your ability to connect with spirit so that you always have this internal guiding compass. And right now, more than any time, I feel in my lifetime that I've seen, we are in need of people who can express from a place of emotion, being strong and being able to have confidence in self when things seem chaotic and murky in the external world. So, in understanding that you are really meant to be a leader to others and showing how to work and utilize your emotions and this direct connection to intuition and spirit to be able to navigate very difficult times or times that are unclear, we are going to see right now what spirit is asking you to really step into, how to utilize this gift right now for the benefit of the greater collective experience. And at the same time, also to help you utilize and uncover a part of yourself that needs to be. So I'm thinking of a good example of how, oh my goodness, so many cards came out for you, Cancer. But I'm going to keep them. Okay. All right, this is going to be a little bit of a longer reading than the other ones. All right, Cancer. So to have an example as to what it might look like as you start to connect your high-level gifts with your external environment and how that will unlock lower-level, unique, more individualistic gifts would be, let's say, you have this innate ability to be strong in your emotions and to, let's say, in speaking with friends and in helping to counsel them, perhaps they come to you for advice, you show them, you lead by example and being very vulnerably open in providing examples from your own life as to experiences that you have been through that can help relate to what the person is currently going through. And in being brutally honest from an emotional level of being vulnerable and sharing perhaps parts of yourself that others might hide, you are directly connecting not only with the place that you're meant to fill in, showing just how important it is to connect on an emotional level and to show somebody else what it means to connect from a vulnerable and emotionally open place. But at the same time, you might realize as you're doing this that you would make a great counselor. That as you do this more and more, you get feedback from your friends and family saying, you really helped me through this time when I needed somebody to really be honest with me, and you came from such a place of honest emotional vulnerability that I was able to hear what you were saying and take that and, sorry guys, I have a message here, take that and change my whole life. You provided me with this answer in a dark time that I couldn't see for myself. And you start to uncover this ability within you that maybe you hadn't seen before. Maybe you hadn't considered that you might be a great counselor. And now you're looking at this going, I might explore that a little bit. I might maybe take a course and see if I enjoy the realm of psychology. Or I might see how else I can utilize being of service in this capacity to others. Maybe I'm just going to sign up to be, somebody who volunteers at a clinic that somebody can just talk to. There are all kinds of ways that we can unlock certain parts of ourselves. But this is kind of the first step. So the more that we're aware of our spiritual purpose, the more we start to tap into our unique spiritual purpose. Okay, so we got quite the collection here. Okay, so we're gonna start. We have Hummingbird Spirit, Be Here Now. Number 34, breaking down to a 7. We have wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. And it's number 67, which breaks down to 13, breaking down even further to number 4. We have nightingale spirit, love is all around, number 41, breaking down to a 5. And we have wombat spirit, be at home, and it's number 68, which breaks down to 14, also number 5. So what I'm seeing here with the numbers themselves is that you're dealing with change. Number 5 is a number that's associated with change. But you also have the number 7 and the number 13 breaking down to a 4. So 7 and 4 together actually equals the number 11. But the number 7 focuses on your spiritual connection, which you are a master of. And the number 4 is building a firm foundation. So there's this element right now of building a firm foundation during a time of change for yourself. So that's what I'm seeing right off the bat. But in seeing be here now, turn knowledge into wisdom, love is all around and be at home, there is this element of tapping into the emotional fulfillment that comes from your home environment. Now, Cancer, you are a sign that's actually associated with the home. There's this element that you guys actually kind of tap into the mother archetype, this nurturing feminine energy, in addition to being able to tap into your intuition on a very strong level. But there is, I think, here this element of, especially with be here now, be at home, love is all around, there's this element of tapping into the beauty that comes when you are strong in your home life, when you are allowing yourself to step up and into the role of nurturer. Now, I don't mean that if you're a man, you have to be a woman, that only women can tap into the feminine energies of the sign of Cancer. It's about, we all have the ability to tap into feminine energy and masculine energy. So even if you're a man, you can tap into the feminine energy. But what I'm seeing here is that that's exactly what you're being asked to do. Is you're being asked to, right here, right now in the presence, tap back into your feminine energy, to utilize that to heal your home environment, to build a fresh foundation from your confidently spiritual place of knowing who you are and what you're good at, and being able to really bring that foundation, that stability into your home life first. Because in going through so much change, which we all have across the world, when we think about what's been going on with COVID, that's just a layer. That's like a high level layer to all the chaos and change that we're always dealing with, just being human. But there is, because we have this higher level of change and disruption because of COVID happening, so many people out there are in desperate need of some type of nurturing, some type of energy to come up and say, it's going to be okay, sweetie. It's going to be okay. People need to be able to come home to that energy. And for you, Cancer, you're being asked to step up into that and to heal your home first. Because yes, we all need to bring this energy out into our external environment, but what's the best way to do that? By choosing to act from this place, utilize your spiritual gift, your superpower of feminine, nurturing, loving, but also leading from this heart-centered place of emotional connection, and being able to calm your family life so that those people can then go out and be healthy and engage in their life, knowing that they have this support at home, knowing that they are loved in a way that you're basically allowing people through you to touch what it feels like to have unconditional love from the divine, which I believe is a given. We all have this ability to tap into true unconditional love from the divine, but it's very difficult for some people to see that. especially when they're going through hard times. But Cancer, you get to embody that. You get to embody the gift of unconditional love from the divine and be able to bring that and communicate that through your emotional connection with people, allowing them to get a taste of what that feels like, and then to go ahead and take that into their external world, take your example, and then carry that forward. And then we have turn knowledge into wisdom. And this is interesting because this is the number 13, which in the tarot is the death card, but it's also a card of transformation. But the number 13 also reduces further to the number 4. So this is about building a foundation off of some part of yourself that needs to be transformed. There's a part of yourself that is being asked to be released, and that which right now is in a place to be transformed into something that's going to be even more beneficial, and to build a foundation off of that, because it's turning knowledge into wisdom. It's not enough to just know something. Wisdom is when we actually integrate that knowledge to where we now act from that place. That's what wisdom is, where we start to communicate and act on the knowledge that we've received. So there's this element now of being able to enact this awareness that you have of your ability to create this very loving environment, and to tap into the importance of tapping into your direct connection to spirit, and to utilize this, that through your emotional connection you can use it as a compass in dark and scary times. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some additional clarifying cards here. So we're going to take a look right now at just any other messages that want to come through. I think this message actually is a very clear one. Even though you had 4 cards, I think it's almost more clear than some of the ones I've had with 1 card, where you guys really are being asked to utilize your gift of being able to share through emotional connection divine love, and being able to create a secure, loving environment, and to be able to communicate from that place, but to be able to act from that place. Because Cancer, you are a cardinal sign, so that does bring with it some element of taking action and to lead from that place. Of course, the High Priestess card comes out for you, Cancer. So Cancer, I think this is a card of Cancer. It can be also seen as a card of Pisces, but basically this is direct connection. This is the knowledge that we always have the direct connection to the divine within us, to spirit, and that all answers lie within. We don't have to seek an external answer. We can actually go within to receive that answer, that internal sight. You can see that her eyes are closed here. And then we have 10 of Cups. Oh my God. Cannot be more perfect. So beautiful, Cancer. 10 of Cups is ultimate emotional fulfillment. Usually, this is usually in relationship to a home environment or to your ultimate kind of heaven on earth experience. And what I love to see these two together is that this is really showing that you have the ability to go within, to uncover that connection to source, to understand that you can uncover for yourself what this 10 of Cups feels like, and that this 10 of Cups, what that feels like is that unconditional love from the divine, and that you have that ability to communicate that, but also to act from it in your home life. And that in doing so and being able to really tap in and experience what this is to you, and being able to also communicate and take action from that place to the people who are closest to you in your love life, you can actually then really turn that knowledge of what this is for you. What is the 10 of Cups? What is your overarching emotional fulfillment? And how can you integrate and act from that place every day? And I think the more that you do that, the more that you focus in on your home and bringing this element of love and support and emotional vulnerability, you're going to see how that unlocks some additional part of you. You're going to have that reflected back from the people closest to you in your life who are going to be reflecting back this level. Because when you feel nurtured, it's hard not to nurture others. And so you're going to start to feel, I think, more nurtured. And that might actually allow you to be able to go a little further, a little deeper into how you can utilize this knowledge and turn it into wisdom, but how you can utilize it in perhaps more of an individual way and grow on it. So maybe there is something that's like an element of something you could teach in here, or something that you can integrate into taking outside of your home and into like a work environment. I'm actually going to I want to get in a couple clarifier cards specifically for turning knowledge into wisdom. Let's see if anything wants to come out specifically for that card. If not, then we'll pick it up next week. Let's see, any additional clarification for turning knowledge into wisdom for our Cancers. Anything else that Cancer needs to know? Oh, Four of Swords. Well, that's very interesting. So the Four of Swords is taking a moment to pause and reflect on a mental level on your truth, and to take a look at perhaps places where you have lost sight of your truth in taking on other people's negative thought patterns. This is, when you think of the Four of Swords, well, there's only one sword of truth that we each have. But there's three other swords that she is contemplating on. And those three other swords are swords of the negative thoughts that hold us back, of our past failures, of the last time I did something, this is how I was hurt. This person hurt me. And it's about realizing what are the stories that belong to others, and where's your truth in that. So in healing and reflecting on these negative points in your life, where can you find and actually bring forward your own emotional mothering element to yourself to say, sweetheart, you did your best and you're loved and you got hurt, but you know what? It only made your truth stand out that much clearer to you. So it's time to get up, and it's time to turn that knowledge into wisdom. It's time for you to actually learn from your past hurts and be strong to help others go and battle theirs, to uncover their truths. Beautiful message, Cancer. I think this will be a great time for you. And again, healing in the home is always a great place to start. All right, Cancer, I'm going to be doing probably 2 or 3 of these a month, just to kind of keep abreast of the energy that's pertaining to you specifically and kind of your place in the greater collective experience. If you'd like to have a more personal version of this reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to go to my website. We can do more of an experience like this, where it is a one-on-one coaching experience where I pull cards for you and we discuss the unique gifts that come up for you specifically as an individual, or you can get just a personal reading, and in the notes section you can ask and be very specific as to what type of reading you would like. All right, bye, Cancers. See you next time.